and welcome to the Mylocalradio Sports Network student section. I'm Aaron Poling, joined by Elon Olive, Anthony Colasuno. But before we get started, we want to send a huge thank you to some of our sponsors. First of all, Les Schwab and Union for sponsoring our broadcast studio. And we also want to thank Jake Major with the Bullock Agency, as well as T7 Propane. We also would like to thank Bear Lake Memorial Hospital and First Bank of Wyoming. And I'm going to bring in Elon Olive and Anthony Colasuno. How are you guys doing today? It's a Wednesday. It's a pretty beautiful day outside, actually. How are you guys doing?
Yeah, it's a beautiful day out there. Got a chance to go. Me and Anthony were outside getting some footage for the Easter egg video, and it's a beautiful day. And yeah, I don't think you can ask for much more.
Sunny, not even a cloud in the sky. It's a beautiful day, and it's definitely one of the signs that you can see that spring is hopefully on the way.
I feel like we shouldn't talk about the weather, though, because who knows, by like 4 o'clock when this thing re-airs, it's going to be like torrential downpour.
Right. Yeah, probably. It's Wyoming. So right. I was going to say, hopefully the weather holds, because we got a couple of soccer games for Evanston coming up tomorrow and Friday. So hopefully the weather holds. We can get that game in. First game of the year in Evanston for the Red Devils, as Mountain View has a game coming up this week as well.
Yeah, tomorrow at 3 p.m.
And we will talk more about that on Home Field Advantage tomorrow. But this is the MyLocalRadio.com student section, presented by Jake Major with the Bullock Agency of Wyoming and Bear Lake Memorial Hospital. It's theater season right now in the schools. Of course, Evanston will be putting on their production of Footloose this weekend with performances at 7 o'clock on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, with a matinee in the afternoon at Saturday at some point. Just go to the high school for your tickets there. I'm hoping to go catch one of those performances myself. But Aaron, I understand this show is really going to be all about what happened in Randolph over the weekend.
Yeah, so the Rebels put on Mamma Mia, and they did a fantastic job of it. It was something that, just talking with people around the cast, that they weren't quite sure when they picked Mamma Mia how it was going to go, but just because there's a lot of choreography, there's a lot of dancing, a lot of singing, and, you know, the choreography was done by 2 students. We have one of those students in Jasmine Ennis. We'll have an interview with her. And the other is Riley Moldenhauer, who's also part of the cheer team. And they did a tremendous job coming together, putting together the choreography and teaching everyone the choreography, as I thought they did a really good job with what I think is not exactly an easy production to put on, especially with the numbers that Rich High School has.
It's definitely not an easy production to put on, and here's why. Mamma Mia is what's called a jukebox musical, where what they do is they take the existing songs from an artist or from a decade or a time. Rock of Ages, which is also a jukebox musical, they take existing songs that have already been hits that people already know, and they form a story around that artist's catalog. In Mamma Mia's case, it's ABBA. So it's tough because you're kind of you got to balance performing numbers that people have an expectation of, and there are iconic renditions of it out there. And at the same time, you also have to make it fit around your show, around your production. And I would imagine it's not an easy feat.
Yeah, I would agree. And they did a great job there are some very adult moments in Mamma Mia, but they did a good job working around those. Obviously, certain things you can't have at a high school performance, but they did a good job, I think, of really taking it and making it perfect for the high school stage.
And speaking of some key factors, you say, of course, Mamma Mia has some adult features to it, and they worked around that. And also what Elon said of being a jukebox musical, and going back of what Elon said before of 2 students handling all the choreography for it. That is insane. When I was in show choir in high school, we would have our so-called like section dance leaders that will help us learn it, but we had someone who was a professional dancer come in, or a choreographer come in and teach us the moves. And then once that person left, it was like, all right, now our section leaders help us learn that. But in that time frame, we would already know more than half the dance by that point, because they'll come in like for a week or 2. And so basically our section leaders were just brushing up on things. But having 2 students from scratch create the choreography is flat out amazing.
And Beth Woods also designed the backdrop that was on the main stage throughout the entirety of the play. So a lot of this is student driven by students who, from what I gather, talking to all these kids, they don't have much time. And for the musical, Rich High School does a cool thing where they take all the kids who are in the musical, they'll put them in a class 6th hour, second semester. So that way they can work on it there, because a lot of these kids, Taylor Walker, Boston Jolly, a lot of them, Janie Walentine, who we have an interview with, they play sports during the winter. So they have a lot of time spent playing sports, and then they turn around and 2 weeks after, a state basketball tournament, they're able to come through and put on a great production of Mamma Mia.
Well, we're going to see something like that in Evanston this week. I mean, Colby Ferens, I believe, he's on the high school soccer team. He's also in the Footloose production. And he told me yesterday, because I went and filmed the intro video with the soccer team, I asked him, how are you going to make that work? And he said, well, Thursday is going to be, he's not going to be able to make it because he'll be in Star Valley playing the soccer game. But he is literally going to go from the game on Friday here in Evanston against Jackson, straight from that game, straight to the stage.
Yeah, that's incredible.
Wow.
Yeah.
So it's really cool, because I feel like in these small communities, in order to have these type of activities, you have to have
Well-rounded individuals, I mean, it's not one of those deals where, I mean, in bigger schools, and I'm sure you can talk about this, Anthony, more than anyone here, because there was like 72 in my graduating class.
50.
Yeah. So you've got, I guarantee you, being from a metropolitan area like Las Vegas, you can probably attest to this. In bigger schools, you have specialists. You have people who are the drama kids, who are the football players, who are the baseball players, who are the basketball players. But in small towns like this, everybody you kind of get a more well-rounded experience. I feel like you experience more.
Absolutely. And when you said about, going from a soccer game straight to the stage. When I was in high school, you had kids that would just play one sport.
Yeah.
It was a rare thing when you had when a kid played 2 sports in my high school, just because you had so many people and so much numbers. But here, kids could show off their talents and, can show that, oh, I do theater, I do soccer, and also I do basketball in the winter. Just multi-rounded kids are absolutely just amazing.
Well, if you want an example of it, Dylan Wazen's one of the interviews that we have. His mom is Danelle Wazen, who's the varsity volleyball coach at Rich High School, who was also an all-state volleyball player. And Dylan mentions in his interview that, hey, his mom was really good at Hello Dolly when she did that performance. So, I mean, it's just one of those things where throughout Rich County, it seems that you have kids that are always going to be able to do multiple things. And I think that's a good thing. It gives an opportunity, one, to get to know some of the kids that you might not know if you only played basketball, where there's kids who don't play basketball. Maybe you don't know many of the wrestlers. You get to know them pretty well on the stage.
So let's go ahead and play that interview. I think that's a great segue over that. So
Dylan Wazen, who's another cast member of the 2024 Rich High School musical that was Mamma Mia, and you played Sky. So you were the male love interest of Sophia, one of the female main characters. Take me through the character and take me through the weekend.
So basically, this weekend was a huge success. We really put in a lot of work towards the end, doing those practices. And my character kind of was there to just help Sophie along with finding her dads and stuff. And yeah, that was basically it.
So were you able to bring any of your own personality to the character of Sky?
Yeah, I felt like he was kind of a fun-loving individual, and I could really relate with that.
So now that the production's over, obviously a lot of stress goes into everything that happens. What are your thoughts on how it went, and now that it's over, what are your thoughts on the play?
I thought it went really well. It was really a lot of stress towards the end. I was like, are we going to be able to pull this off? But we did. Everybody put in a lot of work, and it just turned out great.
What would you say that one of your favorite productions is? It can be a play, it can be a musical, as long as it's on a stage. What would you say one of your favorite productions is?
I'd probably have to go The Newsies, because I watched that at Hell Center Theater a while ago, and it was really cool.
If you could choose to play any character in one production, what would that character be?
Probably the boss from The Newsies, because he seems like a fun person. I don't know, a bad guy, but still not too bad.
If you could choose one production to do next year, what would you choose?
I'd go with Hello Dolly, mostly because my mom did that, and she never stops talking about that.
One final question for you. Take me through a couple of memories that you'll have from this year's production.
Probably seeing Woods building that setup It was cool. And just hanging out with all the people that like I normally don't get to hang out with. Probably Alex rolling his ankle and then that making it into the actual play as something we did.
So I kind of lied to you. I had another question pop into my head. So you mentioned that you got to hang out with people you don't usually get to hang out with. What is it about theater that kind of brings a lot of different groups of people together? Because there's a lot of people that play basketball, a lot of people that don't, a lot of people that wrestle, and they all kind of come together for this production.
I feel like it's just something that everybody feels like they can be a part of no matter what you do. It's not like one group that dominates the musical. Just any singular group can be a part of the musical.
That was Dylan Wasden, who is a sophomore at Rich High School. He played Sky, who is the main love interest of the character Sophia. We'll hear from a Sophia later. But let's hear from Talon Pace, who played Pepper in this year's musical, as I think they did a very good job, I think, at Rich High School of, I don't want to say typecasting, but picking the right person for the role, because I think Talon Pace is probably the best Pepper that Rich High School could have had, and it's just the way the character is and the way that he is as a kid, getting to know him personality-wise. I think this was a perfect character for him. Let's hear what Talon Pace has to say. Here with Talon Pace, who played Pepper in the 2024 edition of the Rich High School musical, Mamma Mia. Talon, now that it's over, what are the thoughts that are going through, and are you kind of relieved that it's done?
I was relieved right after because I didn't have to worry about remembering my lines, and then it set into me right after we got done with it, and we're done with what we call a powwow. It was our meeting after, and we were trying to set a date for when we could do our cast party that I would never get to perform with any of the seniors ever again. It set in, and it was actually quite sad for me.
So take me through your character. You played Pepper, who I guess would best be described as flirtatious. So take me through what went into some of the pickup lines, as well as just take me through the character.
So the pickup lines, I don't use pickup lines ever. And
So he says.
I don't. So Beth Woods actually has a full notes page of pickup lines. And before I would go on, I'd be like, Beth, I need your phone. And I'd go through her pickup lines and I'd choose one or two, depending on the scene. And so that's where most of my pickup lines came from. And Pepper, he's this flirtatious 18 to 20-year-old best friend of Sky, and he's just one of the helpers of Donna. He's just there trying to have fun, and he was, I think, born on the island and raised there.
So is there anything that you could take from your personality that you put into the character of Pepper?
I'm very dramatic, and so I put that into Pepper. And with the dance that we did for Does Your Mother Know, it was a lot of like my own flair I did with it, and I always made these faces, which I do all the time anyway. Like I wink all the time, and it's something that I put into that character.
If you could choose one musical or play, it doesn't matter. If you could choose one performance that you would love to do for next year, what would that be?
That's a hard question because I've always loved the musical Hairspray, but I don't know if we could do that here just with our representation of the different races. But one that I would love to do is either High School Musical or Grease again, because my older brother starred in both of those, and I had fun memorizing his lines with him.
What would you say your favorite production is?
My favorite production that I've ever seen is Hamilton or a musical called Six.
One final question for you. Give me a couple of memories that you'll have that you can share with the general public that you'll have from this musical.
From this musical, one of my favorite memories that I'm always going to keep is we had Easton Eborn do our speech for our final show, and he started to sound like a preacher. So that was very fun. And also Beth Woods and we stayed after to help clean up backstage after the musical was over. And we were sitting in the stands from like 11:30 till midnight, just reminiscing on all the musicals that we've been a part of together.
We want to thank Talon Pace for being a part of today's student section, as he was Pepper, of course, in the play. And one of my favorite moments from Talon is just joking around in between shows of everyone trying to give him pickup lines. And, you know, they have that full page, and I'm sure they have them, and just hearing some of the creative ones that parents are like, oh, say this one. And, you know, some of them being shot down because it's once again, high school. I don't want to say High School Musical because then it sounds like we're referring to the actual show itself, but it's on a high school stage.
I would say since it's high school stage, it needs to be as family friendly as possible because you have people of all ages in there. So maybe Yeah, family friendly is definitely where you kind of have to go with that.
Yeah, we have to take a quick break here on the student section. As I'm Aaron Poling, that's Anthony Colasuno, that's Elon Olive. We'll be right back after this quick word from our sponsors.
When you have an emergency, choose Bear Lake Memorial Hospital. Open 24/7, the professional emergency room staff is trained for trauma, medical, cardiac, pediatric, orthopedic, and obstetric emergencies. Bear Lake Memorial is a critical access level 3 trauma center, offering immediate access to radiology, lab services, surgery, and internal medicine consults. The ER teams are well-trained professionals who are ready to act. When you have an emergency, Bear Lake Memorial Hospital, the most caring hospital on earth.
Out here, we've always worked remote. Out here, stress usually refers to the pull on a rope. Where a stroll in the city is also a stroll in the great outdoors. Where work is a way of life, and life is good. Out here, the backyards are big, and the deals, they're even bigger. This is southwestern Wyoming, and it's where you can get the biggest deals on a vehicle you want with plenty of hometown hospitality. Heritage Auto, your hometown dealer with the biggest deals.
Whether it's for your home, your ranch, your equipment, or your business, when you need propane, count on the best. T7 Propane in Woodruff. The safe and professional team at T7 Propane offers quality product and the most responsive propane service in the area, so you can enjoy the affordability, reliability, and efficiency of propane. For heating, cooking, grilling, motor fuel, and more, count on the team at T7 for your personal or business propane needs. 435-793-4208.
At Reese Auto Service in Lyman, you will find highly skilled mechanics who will get the job done right the first time. They work on anything from light line jobs of tire alignments, suspension work, and oil changes to heavy line jobs of engine replacement, differentials, and all powertrain components. Make sure all your recreational vehicles are working at top speed by getting them checked at Reese Auto Service in Lyman so your time having fun doesn't end early. Reese Auto Service, 541 State Highway 413, Lyman.
And welcome back to the My Local Radio Sports Network student section. I'm Aaron Poling, joined by Anthony Colasuno and Elon Olive. But we have to thank some sponsors before we get back into the show. We want to thank Heritage Auto of Evanston, as well as the station on Main, for being sponsors of our programs, as without them, none of this is possible. But we also want to thank our Easter egg hunt sponsors as well, as that's Ellingford Brothers, Freeway Tire, Callis Auto, Dr. McKay Frankum, City Drug, Trona Valley FCU, Aaron's, you're welcome. Just kidding. That's actually the company Aaron's in town, so we want to thank them. Affordable Inns, Norco Legal Tender Restaurant, Jody's Diner, and Rocky Mountain Yeti. So thank you guys for sponsoring our Easter egg video.
Yeah, the Easter egg hunt is underway somewhere out there in the town of Evanston. There is an Easter egg worth $500. If $500 sounds good to you, I think that sounds good to everybody. Everybody gives an extra $500.
I was going to say I'd never turn down $500.
Exactly. So if you would like to get that $500, you need to stop at all of those businesses. They all have clues to the location of the Easter egg, and some of the businesses have clues that others don't, so you need to make sure you stop in at all those businesses. Each business will be given new clues every weekday, and the hunt will continue until the egg is found. Once you find the egg, turn in the egg with the note inside the Easter egg to the radio station offices here on Main Street, right next to the Strand Theater, and you will get that $500. And let's go ahead and run through those businesses one more time. These are the businesses that have the clues that they will get new clues every weekday, and some businesses will have clues that others won't. So you got to stop in at every single one of these to try to give yourself the best opportunity.
So those businesses are Ellingford Brothers, Freeway Tire, Callis Auto, Dr. McKay Frankum, City Drug, Trona Valley FCU, Aaron's, Affordable Inns, Norco, Legal Tender, Jody's Diner, and Rocky Mountain Yeti. Once again, those businesses are Ellingford Brothers, Freeway Tire, Callis Auto, Dr. McKay Frankum, City Drug, Trona Valley FCU, Aaron's, Affordable Inns, Norco, Legal Tender Restaurant, Jody's Diner, and Rocky Mountain Yeti.
It is not every day, folks, that you get a chance to win $500 by finding an Easter egg. So stop in at all of those businesses to get your Easter egg clues to find out the location of that Easter egg. Again, only one out there. Find it, turn it in along with the note inside the egg to our radio station offices here in downtown Evanston, right next to the Strand Theater, and you will win $500.
Yeah, so next interview up, we have Janie Wallenstein, who played Tanya, who has, I think, my favorite line in the production, and that's when she's talking at the bar with one of her friends, and they're talking about how her husband was a billionaire or how she made her husband a millionaire, and then she kind of coyly turns over and goes, "But he was a billionaire before I met him." And that line cracks me up every single time, as Janie Wallenstein, I thought, delivered it to perfection with the dry sense of humor that she has. So let's go ahead and hear from Janie Wallenstein. Janie Wallenstein, who was Tanya in this year's production of Mamma Mia, put on by Rich High School. Janie, now that it's over, how do you feel about it?
I was really happy with how it turned out, and I'm just really glad that we did it. I thought it was really fun.
So take me through the character of Tanya.
She's very wild and flirtatious, and definitely not my personality, so it was a little hard for me to do that, but it was fun.
So I know you said she's not your personality at all, but is there anything that you brought from your personality into the character?
I can be pretty sassy sometimes, so I guess that, but not really anything else.
I think this is back-to-back years where you've had a sassy character, am I right?
Yeah, I was the evil stepmom last year, so.
Typecasting, huh? With this year's musical being done, take me through some of the memories that you'll have. Unfortunately, it is your senior year, but what a way to go out.
Yeah, this year was just so fun because everyone put in so much work, and there's a lot of talent this year, especially with all the girls, so it was fun all being able to sing together and harmonize. That's so fun. And yeah, just all the time that was spent together working to make sure it turned out good was really memorable.
What's your favorite scene from this year's production?
A scene that I was in would probably be Dancing Queen, and then my favorite that I wasn't in was Mamma Mia. I love that one.
Yeah, those are the two songs that have been stuck in my head on repeat over the weekend because they're very catchy. If you were going to do another production, what character would you like to play out of any production that you've seen?
That's kind of hard. I think Wicked would be really fun. I think it'd be fun to be either one of the witches, I don't know which one, though.
You just like playing evil characters, don't you? The stepmom in Cinderella, now you want to be a witch in Wicked. It's all right. I mean, that's why it's acting, right? You're not an evil person. So with this year's crew, it seemed like there was quite a few people from a lot of different backgrounds, whether it be coming from wrestling or basketball or cheer, just a lot of different groups of people come together for this musical. What does that kind of do for the cast, and how much fun is that getting to see and hang out with people that you might not get to during volleyball and basketball season?
Yeah, it's a lot of fun because you spend so much time with a certain group of people, so getting around new people is a lot of fun, and getting to know them better is nice, getting to make more friends like that.
One final question for you. For someone who's on the fence about doing musical next year, what advice would you give them?
I would tell them to do it because in the end it's always worth all the hard work, and performing is a lot of fun, so it'll get you out of your comfort zone.
And that was Janie Wallenstein, who played Tanya in the Rich High School production of Mamma Mia, as Tanya, I think, is one of my favorite characters just because it adds a little bit of comedic relief to the show. And sometimes I kind of tend to lean towards the comedic characters no matter what the production is.
Yeah, and also with her saying, I've been, back-to-back years playing characters that are not necessarily out of our comfort zone, but like personality-wise, it's totally different. That just shows the skill level that actors have.
Honestly, I think playing that type of role is probably more fun. Like
I don't know. I've never been in a play in my life. I take that back. I was in like one little thing back in high school. It wasn't even like a high school play. It was like a road show for like church
things. But like, I almost think it'd be a lot of fun to be like that antagonist type character, kind of.
Yeah.
You
get to be mean for a while, and there's no repercussions. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's the way I think about it. I'm sure that's probably not the way Janie thinks about it, but it's just you get to be something different. I mean, if you were playing a character that was yourself, that is perfectly you, I don't think it'd be as much fun. It wouldn't be as much of a challenge if you're just going out on the stage and being you. But for a person like Janie Wallenstein, who's such a for what I know, such a kind-hearted person that to play someone, who's the antagonistic millionaire wife.
I was about to say, I wouldn't even call her character in this antagonistic. The stepmom last year, for sure, in Cinderella. Obviously, she's the main antagonist. But this character, I had to look it up because you mentioned the character names, and I saw the movie a long time ago with my wife. And I had to look it up and be like, okay, which character is this? And then I pulled this one up. This one I remember kind of being just kind of like sassy, not being antagonistic, just kind of like that. The main mom, Donna, I think she has like 2 right-hand girlfriends. And one of them is more kind of reserved and the other one's kind of loud and flamboyant. And I think that's Tanya. And I remember that character definitely having quite a few stealing scenes.
Yeah, Donna and the Dynamos as Tanya is, I'd say she's probably the more stoic of the two, just because everything she does is kind of, I don't want to say gives me rich person vibes, but she is wealthy. As if you watch, you can hear in the first half of the show, she divorced her billionaire husband, made him a millionaire, and it's just, I think the way that Janie is being stoic, I think that really fits her personality. I think that's why she does this character so well. Mm-hmm. As we have to take a quick break on the My Local Radio Sports Network student section, when we come back, we'll hear from Jasmine Ennis, who played Sophia for the Rich High School production of Mamma Mia.
Life is better in the country. KNYN, Fort Bridger, Evanston, Woodruff, 99.1, the country you want to be in.
Hey there, I'm Jake Major, your local Medicare and insurance benefits advisor for the Bullock Agency of Wyoming. With over 25 years of experience protecting families in rural America, we understand the importance of having an affordable insurance coverage. Whether you're searching for extra coverage or looking to understand and switch your Medicare options, I can help you find a range of top-rated insurance companies and tailor-made packages based on your needs. Call me, Jake Major, today at 307-209-4685 and let's discuss your insurance options. We're the Bullock Agency of Wyoming when benefits matter.
If you've never heard a mechanic say they truly care, then you've been at the wrong place. Stacy's Repair in Woodruff is a family-owned and operated business open since 1992. Offering all types of maintenance and repair services, you can be sure your vehicle is operating at its best. Whether your vehicle is older or the newest model, gas or diesel, we fix and maintain them all. Also offering chip repair, windshield replacement, and tires. When your vehicle needs a mechanic, bring it to the ones who truly care. Stacy's Repair in Woodruff.
Founded in 1938 with the hopes and dreams of serving the Bridger Valley, Benedict's Trading Company was started. Now 85 years and 3 generations later, Benedict's Market is still serving the Bridger Valley by offering the highest quality meats and fresh produce to having fresh baked items and hot deli options. Benedict's Market is your one-stop for all of your grocery needs. Benedict's Market offers the best services in a modern setting to make your shopping both quick and easy. Visit them today at 950 North Highway 414, Mountain View, Wyoming.
I got it. Welcome back inside the mylocalradio.com student section, as we have one last interview to get to. But first, before we do, we want to thank our Easter egg hunt sponsors again: Ellingford Brothers, Freeway Tire, Callis Auto, Dr. McKay Frankum, City Drug, Trona Valley, Aaron's Affordable Inn, Norco, Legal Tender Restaurant, Jody's Diner, and Rocky Mountain Yeti, as we want to thank them for sponsoring the Easter egg hunt, as the video should be coming out soon, correct?
Yeah, we're working on it right now. We got a fun little idea that we've been working on, and it's going to be a lot of fun. But yeah, again, $500 to the person who brings that Easter egg to the radio station offices. Again, there's an Easter egg hidden somewhere in Evanston. Our owner, Val Cook, hid it. And all those businesses that Aaron read off all have clues at their businesses. There are new clues delivered every weekday, and some businesses have clues that others don't. So to give yourself the best chance possible, you need to visit all of those businesses often to get the clues. Because, I mean, yeah, it may be time-consuming, but time is money. And if time is money, $500 is a lot of money, so I think it's
also a lot of time.
Worth a lot of time. So, yeah, get out there. Happy hunting, and best of luck to everybody, and congratulations to our eventual winner. You're going to be $500 richer.
Yeah, you never know.
Bring that egg back in.
Visiting one more business might be the decision between $500 or no $500. Yeah.
Yeah, we have one last interview to get to. It is Jasmine Ennis, who played Sophia in the Rich High School production of Mamma Mia. And I'd also like to point out that Jasmine was critical in putting together in all of the choreography in this production. We talk about it a bit in the interview, but just wanted to mention that again because that's a super impressive feat for just a junior in high school.
I'm here with Jazz Ennis, who was a part of the Rich High School musical. This year it was Mamma Mia. You played Sophia. Now that it's over, how do you feel about it?
I honestly feel pretty good about it. I'm very proud of us all. I am a little bit sad because we put all that hard work for it to go so fast, but I am very glad that we did it, and I feel very happy that we got to do that play.
You also helped orchestrate the choreography. Take through the process that you had to go through to get that going, because I imagine that's got to be pretty stressful.
Yeah, so when I watched the plays of Mamma Mia, like on YouTube, I just realized that, oh my goodness, they have so many dancing routines. Like almost every routine has a choreography. So like I started choreographing things or putting ideas together since last year, my sophomore year, and I would just look at videos, I would take bits and pieces from them, I would include my own ideas at the same time, and yeah, I would just come to school with them, ready to teach, and it was pretty fun to do.
As the character Sophia, were you able to bring anything from your personality into that character?
Yes, I was able to. Not to be mean, but Sophie is kind of a little bit bland, so I was thinking that it could be fun to include like a few extra things in her personality, like a little bit of humor or just more of a bubbly person, because she is a little bit more put back and introverted, but I was able to do that with myself, and it was pretty fun.
So if you could pick one production or character to play in a production, what would you choose?
Meg from Hercules. It's not a musical yet, but I would really hope that it could be in the future. I think that she's just the perfect role for me. I relate to her so much, and she has like the best songs.
So take me through the cast and crew of this year's production. It seems like in musical, you guys are able to bring together a lot of different groups into one stage.
I was pretty surprised by who came to audition and who decided that they wanted to do the musical. Like some people like that told me that they would never like be on stage, came, and they ended up being in the play, and I thought it was super cool. I do know that like the seniors have been performing on stage for a long time, so it was pretty easy to bring them in to make a cast with them, and they did like recruit a few like freshmen and a few sophomore, and we were able to have a lot of fun with that.
One final question for you. For anyone on the fence about doing musical next year, what advice would you give them?
I would tell them to just do it. Like, even if they have a small thought about doing the musical, that they should do it, because it's like one of the best experiences that they will have in high school, because performing is just a feeling that, it's like a feeling like no other. And like the time that we spend together, it's like really like bonding, and we can make a lot of connections with each other.
That was Jasmine Ennis, a junior at Rich High School that played Sophia in this year's production of Mamma Mia, and what a wonderful job that those kids did just putting on that production, learning all of the songs, all of the dances. And you got to remember, most of the kids that were on that stage were either at wrestling states or they were at basketball states just 2 weeks ago, and they didn't have a ton of time to learn everything, but they came together, they did it well, and I thought they put on what was a really good weekend and a lot of fun.
And of course, Sophie is one of the lead roles. She is the daughter that's getting married, that the whole story is kind of based around. So that's to do that, to have one of the lead roles, to also choreograph the whole thing, that's no small feat.
Yeah, and she's also a part of the 1A state champ cheer team, so she was also learning those routines as well throughout the entirety of this process. So I have to take my hats off to these kids at Rich County, because without being able to multitask and do a bunch of things at once, there's no way they're able to put this production on. So once you really see what goes behind the scenes, it is so cool to see these kids get out on the stage and perform.
Yep.
Absolutely. I can't wait for Evanston's production. Lyman's gonna have one in March. Just amazing what these kids can do.
Of course, Evanston Drama Devils, they will be putting on Footloose here in Evanston this weekend. I'm actually pulling up their Facebook right now. But they'll be doing Footloose this weekend. And it will be Thursday, Friday, Saturday, 7 o'clock performances with a matinee on Saturday, of course. And then you also have, I think tickets are on sale right now for that. I think it's $12 a piece. So you can go to the high school and get those. They also have the dinner theater coming up later on in the spring. We'll talk more about that later. Also, for the schools in Evanston with theater and stuff like that, they also have band concerts. I mean, it's the end of the year, so you're going to get your spring concerts. You're going to get all sorts of great things for us to talk about here on the student section.
Yeah, it's an exciting time. Just the end of the school year, everything comes together. You get the musicals, you get the band performances, you get, your spring sports, you get everything coming together at the end of the school year. So it's a great way for the seniors to go out in their final couple months of school.
Yeah, and I think that's going to do it for this week's edition of the Mylocalradio.com student section, presented by Jake Major with the Bullock Agency of Wyoming and Bear Lake Memorial Hospital. Tune in tomorrow for Home Field Advantage. We'll get you set for those soccer matches coming up as we open up the soccer season on Mylocalradio.com and the My Local Radio Sports Network tomorrow afternoon. Evanston will play in Star Valley. Mountain View hosts Lander at the Green Space. And we'll also have some other fun discussion topics around spring sports, as spring golf is right around the corner as well. That's Aaron Pulling. That's Anthony Colasino. I'm Elon Off, and we will see you guys next time.